What if I told you that some of the biggest construction projects in Africa, highways, airports, even entire cities, weren't built by African governments or even Western countries, but by China? From the deserts of Ethiopia to the ports of Kenya, China is everywhere in Africa. Billions of dollars in investments, thousands of Chinese workers, entire economies being reshaped. But is this a partnership that benefits both sides, or a quiet takeover? Let's dive into one of the biggest and most misunderstood stories of our time: China in Africa. Since the early 2000s, China has poured more than $150 billion in Africa, more than any other country in the world. This isn't just aid. These are massive loans, business deals, and infrastructure projects, often under the Belt and Road Initiative, China's global strategy to connect the world with Chinese-built roads, ports, and railways. In countries like Nigeria, Angola, Ethiopia, and Kenya, you'll find mega highways, new bridges, giant hospitals, and modern train lines, all built with Chinese money and expertise. But why is China doing this? And what does it expect in return? China's secret weapon? Infrastructure. African countries have long struggled with poor roads, outdated railways, and underdeveloped ports. China saw an opportunity and filled the gap. In Ethiopia, the first modern electric railway links the capital Addis Ababa to the port in Djibouti, built by Chinese engineers. In Zambia, major highways now connect rural areas to major cities. In Angola, entire satellite cities have appeared, funded and constructed by Chinese firms. This is transformation on a scale Africa has never seen before, and it happened fast. But there's a catch. Many of these mega projects are financed through loans from China, and those loans come with strings attached. When a country can't repay its debt, China has been accused of using debt diplomacy, taking control of strategic assets like ports, railways, or natural resources. One of the most famous examples is Sri Lanka. When it failed to pay back a Chinese loan, it handed over its Hambantota port to China on a 99-year lease. In Africa, some fear the same could happen. In Kenya, concerns rose when it was rumored that China could seize the port of Mombasa if debt wasn't paid. Critics call this a debt trap. Supporters say it's just business. So, which is it? Here's the twist. Even though billions are spent, a large chunk of that money doesn't stay in Africa. Chinese companies win the construction contracts, Chinese workers are hired, Chinese materials are used. That means the money often returns to China, not to local African economies. In many places, Africans say they get very few jobs from these projects. Promises of skill transfer or training are rarely fulfilled. So while roads are being built, the question remains, who's really winning here? African governments are not all on the same page. Some leaders praise China for building what others wouldn't. They like the fact that China doesn't lecture them about democracy or human rights. Others are more cautious. In Zambia, major protests broke out when China was accused of taking over media companies and copper mines. In Ghana, local traders say they're being pushed out by cheap Chinese imports. Across the continent, public opinion is divided. Is China a savior or a new colonizer? China's presence in Africa isn't just about building roads or selling goods. It's about influence. Every project, every loan, every handshake with an African leader strengthens China's global position. With over 50 African nations, China gains dozens of potential allies at the United Nations, support in trade negotiations, and access to rare earth minerals and oil. While Western countries debate and delay, China builds. And that's shifting the balance of power, not just in Africa, but worldwide. So, is China colonizing Africa with roads and railways instead of weapons? Or is it filling a development gap that Western nations ignored for decades? The truth is complicated. Some projects genuinely help local communities. Others leave countries deep in debt. Whether you see China as a partner or a threat depends on where you look and who you ask. But one thing is crystal clear: Africa is no longer ignored. And China is a big reason why. What do you think? Is China helping Africa rise or slowly taking over? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We've got more eye-opening stories coming soon, right here on CountryQuest.